For a few haunting seconds after the blade fell, Anne Boleyn's severed head may still have known the world around her, a chilling epilogue to the life of the woman for whom King Henry VIII broke England away from Rome. How did the Queen, once cherished so deeply that a king defied popes and emperors to claim her, find herself kneeling on the scaffold in the Tower of London on May 19, 1536? That morning, the sky was veiled in heavy gray clouds. The tower stood in grim silence above the city, its cold stones radiating both majesty and dread. A scaffold had been built not high and showy, but low and quiet, crafted for a foreign swordsman who carried a blade unlike any used in England. This would be no ordinary execution. Whispers passed through guards, servants, and onlookers. For the first time in English history, a crowned queen would die by the sword. Her name was Anne Boleyn. Once, she had captured Henry's heart so completely that he defied the Pope, abandoned centuries of tradition, and sparked the English Reformation. She was not merely a mistress turned queen. She was the reason England severed itself from the Catholic Church. Yet now, stripped of her crown, branded a traitor, she awaited her final dawn in a small chamber of the Tower, where she had been held for 17 long days. At 35 years old, Anne faced death with the same elegance that had once enthralled Europe's courts. That morning, she dressed with deliberate care. A cloak of somber gray fur draped over her shoulders, beneath it a bodice of deep crimson, not for vanity, but to mask the blood that soon would flow. Her composure unsettled those around her. With sharp wit, even at the brink of death, she touched her slender neck. It remarked, "I have but a little one." Those who heard it never forgot, even in her last hours. She remained fearless, dignified, unbroken. Her rise had been as extraordinary as her fall. Born to Thomas Boleyn, a cunning diplomat, and Elizabeth Howard of noble blood, Anne was shaped in the brilliance of European courts. She learned languages, refined manners, and the confidence of the Renaissance in France. Returning to England, unlike any woman of her time, of skin, dark hair, and commanding black eyes, she did not fit the fragile image of beauty Tudor society adored, but she possessed something greater: intelligence, magnetism, and charm. She did not simply enter a room, she commanded it. Henry, though bound to Catherine of Aragon, could not resist her. Unlike her sister Mary, who had yielded to the king's advances, Anne refused to become his mistress. "If you wish my body, you must give me a crown," she is said to have declared. It was unthinkable, yet Henry was captivated. His passion for her led to a 7-year storm that overturned the kingdom itself. When the Pope denied his divorce, Henry broke from Rome and forged the Church of England. In 1533, he secretly married Anne, who was already with child. Both prayed for a son, yet her firstborn was a daughter, Elizabeth, clever and bold as queen, and supported reform-backed English translations of Scripture and filled her court with scholars, but her confidence made enemies. Nobles sneered at her ambition, Catholics cursed her as the cause of schism, and within her own household lurked spies. Tragedy deepened her peril. Miscarriages robbed her of sons Henry demanded, and his love soured into coldness. By 1536, after another lost pregnancy, possibly a boy, her enemies seized their moment. Led by Thomas Cromwell, charges of adultery, incest, and treason were fabricated. Even her own brother, George Boleyn, was accused. The evidence was frail, but truth mattered little. Anne was arrested, tried before a hostile jury, and condemned her. Final morning arrived with cruel delay. She had prepared for execution at dawn, only to be told it would take place at noon. Those hours weighed heavily as she prayed and repeated, "Lord, have mercy on me." Yet when the time came, she met it with serenity. To her ladies, she gave small tokens: a prayer book, a jewel, a handkerchief telling them softly, "Remember me." Before the hushed crowd, Anne stood on the scaffold, the cold wind stirring her cloak. She did not beg for mercy, nor protest innocence. Instead, she spoke with calm grace. "Good Christian people, I am come hither to die according to the law I pray God save the king and send him long to reign over you." She asked for no pity. She gave forgiveness instead. Then she knelt, removed her headdress, and allowed the blindfold to be tied. The French swordsman moved swiftly, silently. To distract her, he called softly for his blade, and as she turned her head, the strike came clean, swift, final. No scream, only silence. The crowd gasped as Anne Boleyn, Queen of England, fell. Her body was placed not in a coffin, but in an arrow chest, and buried within the Tower Chapel. Yet her story did not end in that grey courtyard. Though destroyed by Henry, her legacy endured in the daughter she bore. Elizabeth would one day rule. For 45 years, ushering in England's golden age, Anne's life was brief, tragic, yet defiant. She had risen where no woman was meant to rise, spoken where women were meant to be silent, dared where few dared stand for that. She paid with her life, but history remembers. She knelt to the sword, yet she stands tall in time. Anne Boleyn, Queen Mother, rebel, martyr, never forgotten,